Hi, Chris the Carpenter here with Let'sMakeRobots.com, doing a review of the Bahbots controller. Bahbots, that's Bahbots.com, BAHBOTS.com. And this is his board. It's an Atmega 1284p. So, just right off the bat, nuts and bolts, you got 128K of flash. Well, first of all, you got 32 general use I/O pins. 128K of flash, 16K of RAM, 4K of EEPROM space, 4 timers, 2 8-bit, 2 16-bit, 6 pulse wave modulated outputs, 8 ADCs. Whole thing's running at 18.4 megahertz, so it's pretty quick. Not one, but 2 UART serials, both broken out into 6-pin headers. SD card space. It matches the PB10 and PB20 boards. This is available from Right Hobbies, as well as those proto boards are available from Right Hobbies. Stackable, or maybe not stackable like you'd think a shield system would work, but stackable in terms of the mounting holes line up. And speaking of mounting holes, it has them. It's got 4 of them in the corners, which is the correct place to put mounting holes. I don't know I don't understand why other board manufacturers don't get this, but the holes go in the corners, and you need 4 of them. Duh, this has got them, and it matches the Tamiya Tamiya stuff. So if you're familiar with Tamiya gearboxes, they also make sort of Tinker Toy erector set kind of stuff. Plates and angled bits and screws and kind of a erector set style, and this matches those plates. So with just some PC board standoffs, you're all set. Right on there. This also has the ability to monitor its own batteries, which is slick, and the onboard 5-volt voltage regulator. According to spec, it'll put out an amp without a heat sink, which right off the bat does not have one. Will handle 500 milliamps. So not bad. Not bad at all. Now, some of the kind of fancy schmancy stuff. Programming and getting information in and out. Number 1, like I said, it's got 2 serials, 0 and 1, both broken out as 6-pin headers. It also has ISP connections in a 6-pin straight configuration and a 6-pin 3x3 6-pack configuration. Now, all the general use pins are broken out into 10 packs, which is going to be 8 pins plus a positive and negative. So if you're a ribbon cable kind of person, all your ports are broken out into 8 pins plus positive and negative. Now, if you're a servo pin kind of guy, which I am, you also have the good ports, A and C, basically the analog port and a general use port, broken down into 3-pin setups where you have ground positive signal. And my wife is calling. The power going to these 2 ports is jumper selectable in the back with these little solder jumpers, and it allows you to jump between a 5-volt regulated power going to these power pins, or you can run the power that's coming into the board directly to those pins, so you have those options. Also, well, actually, let me just show you the good stuff here. This is the optional USB serial board, also available from Right Hobbies. This is to jinky your programs in, just like that. Now, this is AVR. It's an AVR chip, so obviously it's going to speak. It's happy speaking any of the AVR languages, Pascal, C, whatnot. Off the shelf, it's happy speaking Bascom, but with some magical trickery and some jinkin', we were able to stuff Arduino into this, and I personally know Arduino better than other languages available to this board, so I have this running Arduino right now. It runs fine as Arduino. and but I would say that the conversion to Arduino is maybe in its alpha stage or beta stage, but it works, and you get a 128K Arduino chip out of the deal, which is kind of slick. Now, the other cool thing about this here board, in addition to onboard SD, which is awesome, onboard SD, I was averaging just shy of 200K a second write times, which is pretty awesome. That's 200,000 bytes a second, and which means I'll never ever use an EEPROM again. But if you notice, that nifty SD card has some rails right above it, which happen to fit an XBee. And you still have access to the SD card with the XBee on top, save space, kind of slick. And that XBee can talk to this corresponding XBee on the serial USB board. And with this configuration, you can not only send data back and forth like you normally would with any kind of RF link, but you can wirelessly bootload. Yes, you can jink your programs from your IDE into the board wirelessly. It takes care of the DTR pin, the reset, the whole, all that shenanigans. And I got to tell you, it just works. It works as well as a hardwire sync. I have nothing to say about it because it just works. You just leave this sitting on your desk, and you leave this sitting on the robot way over there in the middle of the room, and you just hit upload program, and jinky, it just works. And I'm getting tremendously spoiled by that. I will never ever... I'm in the process of seeing if I can do this with the rest of my chips because it's so unbelievably convenient. This XBee on the board is jumper selectable, so you can go between serial A or serial B. Off the shelf, running at 38.4 baud. Would be with a couple zeros after that, or with a K after that, which is nice and quick. A couple of downsides, and I will say that I've spoken to Glenn, who's the designer of this board, and I've brought these issues to his attention, and they will likely show up on the version 2 board. This is version 1. But number 1 is I need a power light. I need blinky lights. I need a power light. I personally want RFTX lights, but I can live without that, but a power light would be slick. And there's no reset button. I personally like a reset button, and I like a clicky reset button. But in my mind, small potatoes, I can live without both, or jump them out as need be. But all in all, I'm going to give this board somewhere in the 7 to 9 range, probably land right in the middle, call it an 8. It's a good board. It's an intermediate board because it's an ADR, and because of the programming languages available, you can sort of get into the guts of the chip a bit more and configure things a bit more, work with timers and really the internal workings of the chip, which fascinates me. I'm having a great time learning all that stuff. It's got some balls at 18.4 and with plenty of RAM and plenty of program space. I'll be surprised if anyone could fill this up with 128K of memory or of program space. And you can't beat the wireless bootloading with a stick. It's absolutely phenomenal. So there you go. Babots controller, BAHBOTS controller, available from writehobbies.com. And at the time of the making of this video, this board right here is marked down from $39.95 to $34.95. Oh, and I forgot one too. With the SD card, it will play WAV files right off the board. No external hardware required. Maybe a little amplifier for your speakers or a little set of computer speakers, but WAV files right off the board, and it works, and it sounds good. So there you go. Babots, BAHBOTS.com, writehobbies.com, and the text of this review and more information can be found at letsmakerobots.com. I am Chris the Carpenter.